The United States and Israel's war in Iran rages on, and things are going from uglier to catastrophic for the United States right now. What you just saw there at the beginning of this video are some big U.S. and Israeli strikes in Tehran, and no doubt the U.S. and Israel is striking Tehran and Iran significantly. Lots of targets of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, also lots of civilians in Iran dying as well. But Iran is striking back, hitting U.S. interests in neighboring countries and hitting the interest of neighboring countries that support the United States as well. We have some updates to report right now. We are learning that there was a United States F-15E Strike Eagle that was shot down over Iran. Fortunately, the U.S. pilots were safe and they managed to make it out, but a direct hit on an F-15E Strike Eagle over Iran. In addition, one of the things that we're learning about is that CENTCOM is asking the Pentagon right now to send more military intelligence officers to its headquarters in Tampa, Florida, to support the operations against Iran for at least 100 days, but likely through September. And so what that means, what we're able to glean, is that the Trump regime sees this war against Iran and this war that's now engulfing the entire Middle East and perhaps even reaching beyond, lasting at least 100 days or through September, probably longer, probably into 2027. One of the internal fights that we're learning about within the Trump regime is between Hegseth and Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State. Sean Matthews broke the story. Here was his scoop. Hegseth and Rubio are feuding over the U.S. approach to war in Iran. Rubio and Hegseth are at each other's throats whether the U.S. should send troops to Iran. Gulf official says U.S. weighing special ops deployment. Hegseth wants U.S. boots on the ground. Rubio does not. And one of the things that the Trump regime falsely leaked yesterday was that the Kurds from Iraq and I guess northern Iran as well were doing an invasion of Iran. And the U.S. was just lying about this. Some of the Kurdish leaders had to immediately respond because they were also being targeted by Iran. And these Kurdish leaders were saying, that's just false. We haven't sent a single Kurdish soldier into Iran at this point, just an entirely false statement by the United States. And what appears to have happened is that the Kurds rejected the United States' demand and coercion to be the boots on the ground and invade Iran. The U.S. and specifically Donald Trump has betrayed the Kurds consistently. Trump betrayed the Kurds to Turkey during Trump's first term, and Trump betrayed the Kurds again to Syria, extinguishing the Kurds' autonomous territory area in Syria when Donald Trump supported al-Jilani, the al-Qaeda leader who now runs Syria. That's the guy who went into the Oval Office, who we used to have a $25 million bounty on because he led al-Qaeda, and Trump was spraying perfume on him and sniffing him. So what seems to have happened is that the Kurds rejected the Trump coercion to invade Iran, so the United States just made it up. In typical Trump fashion, lied, said the Kurds are invading in order to try to provoke an attack by Iran against the Kurds, maybe hoping that that will then get the Kurds to respond. That's just one of these Trump gimmicks and lies that he thinks like works in the movies, but doesn't work in real life, and actually has led to the conflagration, the burning inferno that is this Middle East getting much worse. I mean, for all of the strikes taking place on Tehran right now, I mean, Iran still has its Revolutionary Guard spokesman, Ibrahim Dul Fakhari, out there holding press briefings. He says the Iranian sacred multi-layered defense will continue with full force. They're out there still striking Israel, still striking Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and still striking Bahrain and the neighboring areas. The U.S. claims that the Iranian strikes are down about 83%, but the U.S. lies about everything. The Strait of Hormuz is essentially closed still. Maybe one or two ships get through, but overall, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Iran has successfully targeted Qatari oil interests and nearby oil interest as well. So, for example, Qatar announced yesterday that it's set to fully shut natural gas liquefaction. Restarting natural gas liquefaction after a complete shutdown would take about 2 weeks. Once restarted, Qatar would need at least another 2 weeks to reach full capacity, and Qatar is the second largest liquefied natural gas LNG exporter in the world, and they are shutting it all down. Think about the implications there, and as we learn those implications, you can see it in the data. The Midas Touch Network, we show you charts, we show you graphs, we show you facts. We don't give you spin, we don't give you propaganda, just the facts. So, Brent oil prices, as of last night, surged above $82.50 a barrel, with gas prices up nearly 20% since January. And, it seems that those prices are going up to $100 a barrel, which could be absolutely crippling for the world. And in terms of your gas prices, you may see $4 or more a gallon very soon. And Iran knows that. That's why they continue to target oil interest, oil tankers. This is what Trump was warned about from his generals and admirals, top military leaders. And Trump just had a feeling, he felt it wouldn't happen. An oil tanker has been hit by a large explosion in the waters off of Kuwait yesterday, resulting in a massive oil spill. And this is in addition to the news I gave you about Qatar. China's government ordered their largest oil refineries to suspend diesel and gasoline exports amid the Strait of Hormuz closures. So that's what's going on right there in the Middle East. But if you said, hey, can it get any worse than that? The answer is that it can. And if you look at what's actually happening on the streets of Iran, it is not looking good. Donald Trump and his regime turned a very unpopular Ayatollah Khomeini, who was 85 years old, who the people were turning against, even his Shiite supporters. She's a Shiite spiritual leader. We may not like that because he's a terrorist and he was an authoritarian, but he was a religious leader, not just for Iranians, but for the Shiite community in the region. And again, bad person, terroristic, hateful, so you say all true, but was becoming unpopular. Now all we did was empower a more far right wing extremist version of that Ayatollah. The new Ayatollah Machaba, it's his son, was the one responsible for the protest massacres. So you just got a worse Ayatollah, basically, than a very, very bad Ayatollah. And I'll just show you what's going on in the streets right now in Iran. It's not the protesters who are out there saying, throw out the regime, because they're terrified. The last time they did that, the last time they went out there, Trump said, I got your back, and didn't have their backs and allowed them to be massacred. Also, if you are a pro-democracy protester right now, and Donald Trump and his regime is out there saying that they don't support democratic leaders in Iran, and they support someone else from the Islamic Republic who would be friendly with the Trump regime, why would you go out and protest? If you did, you would say, well, I'm going to do this and the Trump regime is going to throw me under the bus and I'm going to get killed by the new Islamic Republic leader because Trump's going to just hoist up an Islamic Republic leader. So Trump's plan is so awful for all of those reasons and more. So now